when I think about the challenge, although it does tie into the board a little bit, going back to my earlier comment about tone at the top, I think tone at the top is so important
Mhm.
because it really does set the the messaging to the entire organization in terms of how you're going to approach things. And you can take a couple of different approaches when it comes to new technology. I've always tried to take the approach of let people make mistakes, like let
Mhm.
them try, because when you implement AI, you don't know if the algorithm's going to work. You don't know if it's going to be, provide you the use case that you're testing it out on is going to be the perfect use case because nobody has that insight. It's trying, experimenting, maybe failing, but
Mhm.
it's okay. I think a lot of it has to do with your approach in terms of how do you make mistakes and feel comfortable making the mistakes and being able to share, okay, this one didn't work. I also think it really does speak to, I spent a lot of time talking about technology, but it doesn't really work without the talent. Like, to
Mhm.
be blunt, it's the talent that's the most important. So, if you have a talent in on the team, you wanna make sure that they're feeling valued. You wanna make sure that you're providing the right education and support for them to grow in their knowledge, and they need to feel comfortable that they can embrace the new technology and do so knowing that they might not get it perfect out of the it really does come back to the tone at the top in the organization. If you think you're going to start leaning in more heavily, I'll just use AI as an example, and you realize that you only have a very small number of folks that understand AI. Because not every organization can have, 5 PhDs or 6 PhDs and all these data scientists. I think the important part is if you don't have that, maybe you can add, some of that talent, but you then need to figure out how do you augment it. You can either lean in on recruiting, so taking a look at the universities and colleges, because I think it's one of the big things is we really need to be providing opportunities for the next generation, looking at the programs, looking at what they're graduating, because I found that in some cases in my former experience that some of the brightest and best individuals are coming out of the universities and colleges to be able to contribute. And then if for those that are within the organization that are willing to try and lean in, you have to provide them with the educational pathways in order for them to improve their skill sets. Like, I think it's a top down, bottom up type approach. You really can bring some folks in that have the mindset to help make a difference, and then you need to give the opportunities for the team that's there in order to lean in on the technology.